Mind music. That is the title of this passage. And we have 13 questions. 1 to 4. Questions 1 to 4 are matching information questions. 5 to 8 gap filling questions. 9 to 13, we have matching names or matching features. So let's see what we can pick from this. That's what we can learn from this set of questions. So what I will do is that I'm going to take it paragraph by paragraph. Mind music, scientists investigate earworms. What's the meaning of earworms? The music we can't get out of our head. Okay. Paragraph A, ever had a song stuck in your head playing on an endless loop? Scientists call them involuntary images or earworms, okay? A song that constantly plays in your head, even when nothing is playing on the outside. That's what they call earworms. And a wave of new research is shining light on why they occur and what can be learned from them. Some neuroscientists and cognitive psychologists are studying earworms to explore the mysteries of memory and the part of the brain that is beyond our conscious control. The idea that we have full control over our thought processes is an illusion, says psychologist Lauren Stewart, who founded the master's program in music, Mind and Brain at Goldsmith. Okay, where recent research has taken place. Researchers haven't been able to watch what happens in the brain when earworms occur because they happen unpredictably. Much of what is known about them comes from surveys, questionnaires, diaries, and lab experiments. Okay, so let's go through the questions now and see what we can answer. Number 1 says a description of the characteristics common to songs with earworms. They mention earworms here, but songs, the songs that are earworms, they didn't talk about their characteristics here. They mentioned earworms, they mentioned research, the fact that they want to do some research here. Lawrence Stewart talked about some things that have to do with music. And then he says researchers have not been able to. No, I don't think number 1 can be matched to it. Number 2, this is justification. Justification, okay? Justification means why are you doing a research? Okay, why are you conducting a research? I think I saw something like that here. Justification, I saw it. Look at this sentence here. Some neuroscientists and psychologists are studying earworms to explore, that's the reason, that's the justification. They want to explore the mysteries of memory and the part of the brain that is beyond our conscious control. So that's the justification. So this number 2 can be matched to paragraph A. Okay, a description of the brain's reaction. No, they've not talked about that here. Details, I don't even think you can use they didn't mention that you can use a paragraph, a letter twice. Goldsmith study. They've not talked about the study here. They only mentioned the university, so we can't answer any of the gap filling yet. I saw Lauren something, yeah. Lauren Stewart. This is Lauren Stewart here. So let's check the statements. Some musicians create music that is intentionally memorable. No. People are unable to, yes, this can be matched to Lauren. Lauren. People are unable to completely regulate how they think. Look at this thing here. The idea that we have full control over our thoughts, over our thought processes is an illusion. What is the meaning of thought processes? That's how they think. Illusion. When you say something is an illusion, that means that that thing is false. Look at it. Check the dictionary. Okay, let's check the dictionary. Search for Google. So look at illusion here. Instance of being misinterpreted. There's a heck. Can you see the second one? A false idea or belief. A false belief. That's what they call illusion. A false belief. Let's check Cambridge Dictionary. An idea or belief that is not true. Can you see that? That's illusion. An idea or belief that is not what? That is not true. So that's what's it called? People are unable to completely regulate how they think. That's what that's what he's saying by saying this thing. So if I say, the idea that you would get that money from them is an illusion. What does it mean? It means that you not get the money. That's the meaning. Okay. So what other statements can we match to Lauren based on what I've read here? We can remember songs without knowing what, no. Thinking about music has similar effects. No. Earworms are more persistent. No, I've not seen anything about short section. Let's go to paragraph B now. A Goldsmith studies published in the journal Memory and Cognition this year showed that the singing we hear in our heads tend to be true to actual recordings. Researchers had 17 volunteers tap to the beat of any earworm they heard during the 4-day period while the device is attached to their wrist. While a device attached to their wrist recorded their movements. The tapping tempos were within 10% of the tempos of the original recordings. Another Goldsmith study published this year in Consciousness and Cognition found that people who report hearing earworms often and find them most intrusive have slightly different brain structures, with more gray matter in areas associated with processing emotions. Let me go and check that gap filling. Goldsmith study. Can you see that? Researchers from Goldsmith concluded that the music we imagine in our minds is quite similar to recordings. Yes, actual recordings. Can you see that in the passage? So I'm in the right place. They proved this by asking volunteers to record rhythm of music using a monitor on their is it wrist or somewhere? On their wrists. A device attached to their wrist. So number 5 is going to be what? WRIST. Is singular. We don't need to put S. Further research has demonstrated that those who have earworms more frequently have brains that may deal with dash differently. That's towards the end. Brain structures, more gray matters in areas associated with processing emotion. So deal with emotions. Deal with emotions. Can you see that? Emotions has S there. So this one too should have S. Emotions. And then Dr. Stewart believed that the brain is dashed by earworms when it is not focused on a task. Okay, let me check the next paragraph. Studies also show that the music in our head often starts playing during times of low cognitive load, such as when showering, getting dressed, working, or doing other chores, or doing chores. Dr. Stewart likened earworm to the sonic screensavers that keep the mind entertained while it is otherwise unoccupied. Hold on. Dr. Stewart also believes that the brain is entertained. Keep the mind entertained. That's going to be the word. The brain is entertained when it is not focused on a task. In fact, a reduction in the occurrence of earworms was found to be directly related to how reduction in the occurrence. Let me read further. Reduction. She and her colleagues tested the theory by having volunteers listen to a song and giving them various tasks afterward. The volunteers who sat idly for the next 5 minutes were most likely to report hearing the music in their heads. Dr. Stewart observed that the more challenging the activity, the less likely the volunteers were to hear. Okay, hold on. Dr. Stewart observed that the more challenging the activity, the less likely the volunteers were to hear the music. Look at the question. Occurrence of earworms was directly related to how challenging, that's going to be the word, challenging the activity was. How challenging the activity was. So I've solved all the gap filling. So let's see. Dr. Stewart is also, let me see. Number 9, some musicians create, no, I've not seen anything like this here. We can remember songs without knowing that we've heard them. No, they didn't mention that in these paragraphs. Thinking about music has a similar effect on the brain to hearing the music. No, I've not seen that yet. Earworms are more persistent when only a short section. No, I didn't come across anything like short section. What of the matching information? A description of the characteristic common to songs with earworms. No, I've not seen anything like that. I've matched number 2. Number 3, brain's reaction. No. Detailed of proposed with no. They didn't give us detail of any research. They only told us, hold on, studies show that This thing says different age groups. They didn't, the issue of age groups is not here. They just said volunteers. We don't know their age group. So that age group is a very important keyword. We didn't see different age groups here. Paragraph D now. Songs the brain fixates on are usually those that it has been exposed to recently, survey shows, which is why tunes getting heavy radio play frequently top earworm charts. Even tunes you may have heard but didn't pay attention to. Hold on. That you didn't pay attention to. That you didn't pay attention to. Look at this number 11. Without knowing we have had them. Can you see that? Let me read that. Let me finish that thing. Even tunes you may have had but didn't pay attention to can worm their way into your consciousness, says Ira Hyman. Yeah. So this number 11 is going to be B. Number 11 can be matched to B. Ira Hyman. Ira Hyman. A psychologist. In an unpublished study, their participants who listen to music while doing other tasks were more likely to report that the song returned as earworms compared to participants who simply listened. Okay. Number 9, no. Number 12, no. Number 13, no. So let me check the matching information. Is there anything that can be matched to paragraph D? Characteristics common to songs with earworms. They only get every radio play. You didn't pay attention to them. No, they didn't talk about characteristics. Description of the brain's reaction. Known and unknown. They talked about known and this thing that if you are not listening to song, no, that's not known and unknown. You are not paying attention to a song doesn't mean that the song is unknown. So number 3, I don't think we can match number 3 to this paragraph D. Let me move on to the next paragraph. Some earworms are just fragments of a song that repeats like a broken record. So when the mind hits a part of a song it can't remember, it loops back rather than moving on. That could make an earworm even more entrenched. Dr. Hyman says. Okay. Dr. Hyman, option B. Number 9, no. Number 12, no. Number 13, earworms are more persistent when only a short section. No, this one is, the thing is playing in your head. They are not playing it. This thing is sounding like they are playing it outside. That's how this statement 13 sounds. So, let me go on. According to a theory, unfinished thoughts actually weigh on the mind more heavily than those that are completed. So I don't think there's anything for this paragraph E. Paragraph F. Researchers say they can pinpoint a spot in the brain where earworms live. Imaging studies by Adra Alpen. Is that Andre? Okay, option C here. Andre in USA have shown that deliberately imagining music and actually listening to music activates many of the same neurological networks. Oh, that's number 12. Thinking about music has similar effects on the brain to hearing the music. That's C. So number 12 is going to be C. Number 12 is going to be C. Then next one, the next sentence. Dr. Alpen's earlier studies show that when subjects listen to the first few notes of a familiar music, areas of the frontal cortex, okay, along with the supplementary motor area at the top, okay, when the same subject listens to one familiar music, okay, and we're asked to recall it, there was activity in the left frontal portion of the brain instead. Let me check the matching information. Is there anything that can be matched to have? Number 1, no. Songs with earworms, characteristics of snow, description of the brain's reaction to, yeah, where is it? Unfamiliar music. Unfamiliar sounds like unknown. You are not familiar with it. You don't really know much about it. You don't know the song. So this number 3 can be matched to F. Number 3 can be matched to F. Then paragraph G. One factor that makes songs stick might be repetition. Repetition leads to familiarity, which leads to anticipation, which is satisfied by hearing the song. Says John Seabrook. Is that John Seabrook on our list of names? Yes, option D. Author of the song Machine. Okay, about how producers pump up songs full of oral hooks. The punchy melodic phrase designed to target the brain. This is some musicians create music that is intentionally memorable. Can you see that? Musicians is a paraphrase for producers. Where is it now? How producers pump pop songs full of oral hooks designed to target the brain, leaving it wanting more. That's something memorable. You want that thing again, bring it again. I want to hear it again. That's number 9. Number 9 can be matched to John Seabrook. That's option D. Number 9 should be D. Number 9 should be D. So let's go on. Let me check the matching information. Characteristics, no. No, I've not seen age groups yet. Paragraph H now. The researchers plan next to test their results in reverse and play ringtones from songs of both the earworm and non-earworm variety for volunteers several times a day to see which ones get stuck. Dr. Stewart and Appiah are now working together to recruit survey participants for a study, looking at whether people at different stages of life. Different stages of life. That's a paraphrase for age group. Different stages of life. So number 4 can be matched to paragraph H. Paragraph H. Number 4 can be matched to what? Paragraph H. Then you can argue other people might get them more often, but a few responses so far indicates that they have earworms less often. Okay. Number 1, a description of the characteristic common to songs with earworms. Characteristics common to, is it here? No, it's not here. Songs from both the earworms. No. Let me check the previous paragraph. Paragraph G. Common to songs with earworms. So it says oral hooks. Where is that oral hooks? They have oral hooks. That's one of the characteristics anyway. Songs full of oral hooks. Melodic songs of, okay, all these melodic structure can also be called earworm songs. Songs with earworm potential. Oh, certain features. Can you see that? I missed this. Can you see? I skipped this part of the paragraph. A repeating pattern of ups and downs in speech and an irregular. This paragraph G can be matched to number 1. Paragraph G can be matched to number 1. A description of characteristics common to what? Songs with earworm. So I'm left with number 13. What's number 13? Earworms are more persistent when only short section of the song. That's the oral hooks. That's John Seabrook. Repetition leads to familiarity. So it says producers pump songs full of oral hooks. What are the oral hooks? Punchy melodic phrases. That's what they are referring to here with this short section. Short section, those short fragments. So this number 13 can be matched to John Seabrook. Number 13 can be matched to John Seabrook. Let me see. Who is talking here? Yeah, it's John Seabrook. I think it's John Seabrook. Number 13 should be D. So I've solved everything. Let me submit and see what my score will be. Let's see what my score is going to be. Wow, 5.9. That's not possible. No. Let's check. Let's be sure of our answers. Let's do thorough self-correction here and be sure of our answer. So this is self-correction I want to do now. Because sometimes this website makes mistakes. We need to be sure. Let me start with this number 7. Number 7 is telling me that my answer should be entertained. So here is my question. Here are my questions here. Number 7. Look at number 7 here. Dr. Stewart also believes that the brain is so they said the answer is unoccupied. The brain is unoccupied by earworms when it is not focused on a task. No, 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 no. No, that's not what the passage says. This is an error. Look at this paragraph here. Dr. Stewart likened earworms to sonic screensavers that keep the mind entertained when it is unoccupied. In other words, the brain is not occupied by activity. If you read it from the beginning, you are not doing anything serious. And then even if you read the final part of the paragraph, you are not doing anything serious. That means your brain is not occupied. So what happens? Something will entertain your brain. So it believes that the brain is entertained by earworms. Entertained by earworms, not unoccupied by earworms. Assuming they did not put assuming they did not put by earworms in this summary, then unoccupied will be correct. But the issue is what? The correct thing should be entertained by earworms. So I don't agree with this. They are number 7. Number 7 should be entertained. Number 7 should be entertained. Okay? Then let's look at the matching information. It's telling me that number 1 should be A. Number 1 should be A. Let me check. Number 1, look at it here. A description of characteristics common to songs with earworms. Answer is A. That's what the website is saying. Characteristics of songs with earworms. So look at paragraph A now. Look at this paragraph A. Ever had a song stuck in your head, playing on an endless loop? Involuntary music images. That's the name of those songs, earworms. A new wave of research is shining light on why they occur and what can be learned from them. We are looking for characteristics common to songs with earworms. Some neuroscientists and cognitive psychologists are studying earworms. I've not seen characteristics yet. Who founded the Masters in Music program? Researchers haven't been able, they did mention, hold on, this last part, much of what is known about, they didn't mention characteristics here. There's no mention of characteristics here. The only thing that sounds like characteristics is that the song is stuck in your head. Just one. Just one. And this thing is plural. But look at my paragraph G that I picked. This thing I'm doing here is called self-correction. These are things you do to be sure of your answer when you are practicing with some of these websites. You need to be sure that, okay, am I sure that these guys did not make mistakes? Okay, that's what I'm showing you. Now look at my own answer. I based my answer on number 1. Earworms, they said that word. Earworms have, look at this final sentence. Songs with earworm, look at it, they even use the word songs with earworm. Can you see they use those 2 words? Earworm, songs. Can you see that? Songs with what? Earworm potential have what? Appear to share certain features or characteristics. Number 1, repeating patterns of ups and downs in pitch. That's 1. And an irregular music interval. That's 2. Then I think I also mentioned that there's something called hooks, oral hooks. Songs full of oral hooks. So like 3 stuffs here. So this number 1 should be G. Number 1 should be G. That should be the correct one. That should be the correct answer. I don't agree with their answer that it is A. A is not the correct answer. Then, which other one? Let me just stay here. Number 2, they're telling me that number 2 is E. They're telling me that number 2 is E. Where's paragraph E? Justification for research. In other words, reason why they conducted research. So look at paragraph E. Some earworms are just fragments of a song that repeat like a broken record. So when the mind eats a part of a song you can't remember, it loops. That's not justification. That could make earworm even more entrenched. That's not just according to a theory. Or do experiment exposing. There's nothing like justification in this paragraph E. The justification is what? Why are you doing something? Look at it, the justification here. Psychologist, paragraph A, I saw it in, paragraph A. Some neuroscientists and cognitive psychologists are studying earworms. Why? to explore. That is the reason for the research. So the answer to number 2 should be what? Should be paragraph A. Now you see another answer on the website is wrong. We have seen 3 answers that are wrong now. So you see that this score that they gave me is fake score. It's fake score. I got number 7 correct. I got number 1 correct. I got number 2 correct. Let's check this number 3. They are telling me that number 3 too is wrong. A description of the brain's reaction to a known song. They are telling me that the answer is D. Where is D? The brain's reaction to known and unknown songs. Sorry, known and unknown songs. So the songs the brain fixates on are usually those it has been exposed to recently. Known and unknown. That's different from what it has been exposed to. You might know it. It's possible that you know a song and you have not been exposed to it in many years. So known song is not the same thing as exposed to recently. Hope you understand that. Even tunes you may have heard but didn't pay attention to. Okay, so it's possible for you to hear a tune and not pay attention to it. Now, can worm their way into your subconscious. The brain's reaction. This thing says the brain's reaction. Okay, says you're a Iman. Hold on. This matching information, paragraph DS. Says you're a Iman. In an unpublished study, participants who listen to music while doing other tasks are more likely to report that the song returned as a earworm later on. This thing does not give brain's reaction. How the brain reacts. The only thing that it says brain fixates on something that it has been exposed to recently. Then the issue of known and unknown. Known and unknown song is not showing up here. It's showing up more in paragraph F. Look at paragraph F here. Paragraph F uses the word unfamiliar. Unfamiliar and familiar. How the brain reacts. So they gave us detail. Look at it. Left frontal portions of the brain. That's how the brain reacts. This place, it says that word. When subjects listen to familiar music, the right frontal and superior portions of the brain. That's brain reaction to familiar and unfamiliar song or known and unknown song. So number 3 is, the answer is fake. My answer is correct. I don't agree with the answer. So you see all these ones, 1, 2, 3, my answers are correct. Number 7, my answer is correct. What of number 9? It's telling me that the answer to number 9 should be C. Let me check. Number 9. Yeah, it's telling me that the answer should be C instead of D. Who is C? Who is the researcher for C? I think that's C. Who is C now? Okay, C is Andre Appiah instead of John Seabrook. 9, Andre Appiah. C. Appiah, yeah. This is Appiah or Halpa. Anyhow, anyone you call it. Some musicians create music that is intentionally memorable. Does this he say that? Imaging studies by Andre Appiah have shown that deliberately imagining music. It's not saying deliberately creating music. So next sentence. Dr. Appiah's studies show that when subjects listen to the first few notes, this is about listening to music. When the same subject listen, this whole thing is about listening to music from Dr. Appiah. Let's check the next paragraph. Is there Dr. Appiah there? Next paragraph is Seabrook. What of the last paragraph? Dr. Stewart and Appiah. Does it talk about creating music that is... They want to do another research. But the few responses we have so far, no. The answer is wrong. Number 9 cannot be C. Number 9 is not Appiah. Number 9 is John Seabrook. My answer is still correct. Number 9, where is it now? Musicians create music that is memorable, intentionally memorable. Where is it now? Seabrook. Where did I say Seabrook now? Yeah, this place, paragraph G. This place that says that word. Producers pump pop songs full of aura hooks to target the brain, leaving it wanting for more. That's it. So number 9 should be D. Number 9 cannot be C. Not possible. So you see, another answer that should be correct. This number 9 is going to be D. Then the last one, number 13. It's telling me that the answer should be D. It's telling me that number 13 should be D. Let me see. What did I pick? Let me be sure. Number 13. I pick D. It's telling me that the answer should be B. Okay, number 30, let me see. What's D? D is John Seabrook. John Seabrook. Earworms are more, let me check the answer first. Earworms are more persistent when only short sections of the song is constantly played. That's attributed to attributed to Ira Iman. Let me check for Ira Iman. Ira Iman is not in A. Ira Iman is not in B. Ira Iman, where are you? All right, says Ira Iman. Now, earworms, look at the sentence, number 13, that it says Ira Iman. Earworms are more persistent when only a short section of the song is constantly played. So let's look at it closely. Even tunes you may have heard but didn't pay attention to can worm their way into your subconscious. You have heard something, but you didn't pay attention to it. Somehow, that tune can enter your head. That's what this man is saying here. Does that sound like this one? Earworms are more does it sound like more persistent? This issue of more persistent, we need to look for it. I've not seen it yet. I don't think the word more persistent is represented here. Next sentence. In an unpublished study, participants who listen to music while doing other tasks are more likely to report that the song returned as earworms later on, compared to participants who simply listened. Hold on. Participants who listen to music while you are doing something and then you are listening to music, it's likely that song will return. It doesn't sound like earworms are more persistent. The fact that something returns does not mean that it's returning often. Persistent sounds like return often, but what's it called? I can't. This thing just says later on. Later on, means just it came back once. Let me look for Ira Iman again. Is there okay? See Iman here again. Some earworms are just fragments. Some earworms are just fragments of a song that repeats like a broken record. So when the mind eats that part of a song it can't remember, it loops back then rather than moving. Okay, now I'm saying repeats. Persistent sounds like repeats. That could make an earworm even more entrenched. Okay. So, well, maybe based on this, we can go for Iman, can go for option B then. Based on this part, where it says that some earworms are just fragments. This thing says only short sections. Only short sections. That's like fragments. So, well, I'll go with their choice number. So this is the only one I agree with that. Okay, maybe the option B is correct. But for the others, my answers are correct. I don't agree with the answers. And I'm sure if you check some other websites for this particular passage, it's very likely that you are going to see that these answers that they picked as the correct answer, these answers are wrong. So, but then, like I say, the point is that we are learning. After every exercise, take time to do self-correction, to learn from your mistakes, and to also learn from how they structured things on the website. These are things that will help to build up your vocabulary. Hope you get my point.